Andariki namaskaramulu. Today is another good day for all of us that this week we are starting with a new topic on Mahabharatam. It is being delivered by Dr. Nagaraja, Karnam Nagaraja Rao Garu. I will introduce him to all of you after Vande Mataram and Prarthana. Okay, now let us start with Vande Mataram by Challa Chittibabu garu.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malaya Jasitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Suprajyosna pulakitayamini pullakusumita drumadala shobhini suhasini sumadhura bhashini sukhadam varadam mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram. Namaskaram.
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు. Now I'll request Satya garu to chant Prarthana.
Namaskaram. Let's do meditation for a minute. Gananam tva ganapatigum havamahe kavim kavinam upamasravastamam jeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anasrunvannotibhis sidasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhena Mavitryavatu. Om Shri Mahasaraswatye Namaha. Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave. Na Guru Paramam Shishurasmi Guru Matirasti Guru Mama Pahi Guru. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmala Spatika Krutim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya Devo bhava, Atithi Devo bhava. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sri Guru Bhyom Namaha. Harihi Om.
ధన్యవాదములండి. Now I will introduce the speaker to you. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Karanam Nagaraja Rao garu to all of you. Professor Karanam Nagaraja Rao garu has worked as an officer both in government and private sectors for almost 30 years and worked as professor in a few universities for 10 years. He has completed MA in political science, history and sociology. He has also completed his PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University in management science. His other accomplishments include advanced diploma in Vedanta from Chinmaya International Foundation, Kovida from Samskrita Bharati, Yoga diploma from Vyasa University. He has also done a course on Gita from Oxford Hindu Studies, Oxford University. He has published nearly 60 articles in peer-reviewed national and international journals. He has 4 published books: Management Insights from Motivational Slokas, Business Ethics, Analysis of Dharma from Mahabharata, Virat Parvam, and Principles and Practices of Risk and Insurance. These books are available in Amazon. Currently, after retirement as a professor, he is engaged in teaching Gita to children in Zoom classes and engaged in writing articles in blog unclekhada.com. His lectures on ethics in Mahabharata in English and stories from Mahabharata for children in Telugu can be viewed in his YouTube channels. He has taken last 2 courses also, first batch and second batch, on the same topic. And now he will be taking the 3rd batch for next 5 days. So let us invite him to our course and request him to start the webinar on behalf of all of you. Thank you. May I request you, sir, to start the webinar?
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadhanam Dhyaye Sarvavighnopashantaye Sadasiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Good morning, all of you. There is a beautiful shloka. Before starting the lecture, I would like to tell the shloka. प्रातर्द्यूतप्रसङ्गेन मध्याह्ने स्त्रीप्रसङ्गतः रात्रौ चोरप्रसङ्गेन कालो गच्छति धीमतां, like that it goes. Which means that that is very advanced people, that is called people who are having a lot of knowledge, wise people, or otherwise we can say wise people in the olden days. They used to spend their time like this. Early morning they used to discuss gambling. In the afternoon they used to discuss about girls and ladies. In the nights they used to discuss about the theft and all these things, how to steal and all these things. This is how the actual shloka goes. What does it mean? It can't be like this, because wise people can't spend their time in this fashion. But here they have beautifully mentioned here Prata Juta Prasangena, which means that in the mornings they will be discussing Mahabharatam, because Mahabharatam is a story revolving around the game of dice. And in the afternoon they will be discussing Stri Prasangataha, Madhyahne Stri Prasangataha, which means that they used to discuss Ramayanam, about Sita, how he spent her life and all these things they used to discuss. And then in Ratro Chora Prasangena, in the night times they used to discuss Sri Krishna's stories. Krishna is supposed to be a chora, like that. They will be telling in Gokula he used to steal so many things. That is why he was called, that is butter and all these things. Chora Prasangena, Ratro Stri Prasangena Kalo Gachati Dhimatam, like that they tell. Like that, true to this famous shloka, today we are all here. We are also discussing today Juta Prasangena, that is we are discussing Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is, in that way it is very apt one. Mahabharata, in the olden days, wise people used to read Mahabharata every day at one point of time, other point of time. Particularly in the mornings they used to read Mahabharata, because Mahabharata is a story that revolves around, even though it discusses all other aspects, Purusharthas, the Aihika thing, that is called what we have to do in the present day situation, that also, that is called in this world. That is also they will be discussing a lot. Compared to Ramayana, if you take into consideration, Ramayana is a story that is a bhakti oriented one, and you need to understand only if you are having bhakti you can understand Ramayana. But Mahabharata is yukti, what they call. Yukti means if you are having that discriminative intellect, if you are having, then what you have today is that each and every story is a case study for certain aspects. So you can go through Mahabharata, and for the last so many years I have been telling Mahabharata stories in different platforms. Whichever story you take, there is some message will be there in Mahabharata. Just like that, a story will not be there. Maybe very rarely you find any story wherein there is no message, just story will be there like that. But in other stories it is not like that. Each and every story, because you find roughly some 1,000 stories we find in Mahabharata. Because Mahabharata is a huge book, very huge book, wherein you find more than 1,000 stories you find. Each and every story there will be some message will be there. The message also will be having a lot of implication, knowledge and all these things. And if you take into, because you have undergone the course for the last maybe 1.5 months or 2 months, you are exposed to so many other aspects of Sanatana Dharma, you may be knowing that here the Veda Pranalika, the Vedic Pranalika, of that is a teaching Pranalika or pedagogic scheme of things in the olden days was, they distinguished 2 or 3 varieties of people. Those who are very intellectual persons who can understand the things even if you tell a single sentence. For them, Vedas are mentioned. Vedas, they are supposed to be Prabhu Samhita, they call. Prabhu Samhita means the king will come and order, you do it like this. People will follow. That is called like the Satyam Vada, if they tell. Fine. Wise people can understand it. But not all the people. There are some people, different levels of intellectuality, different levels of mental framework will be there in the society. There are some other level, the second level of persons will be there. Maybe lesser wise people. For them, you can't tell Prabhu Samhita way, you can't tell. It can be Mitra Samhita, they call. Mitra Samhita is called what we can call like a friend come to you, and the friend will be discussing you certain aspects of great things. Then you understand it. Because Mitra is telling, because Prabhu Samhita you may not understand. Even though if you understand the meaning of it, you may not be understanding the significance, the wisdom of that particular sentence, the background of that sentence you may not be understanding. But here Mitra Samhita is called, that is called Itihasas, they call it. Mahabharata belongs to one of the Itihasa. What is Itihasa? Itihasa, like that they tell. Itihasa means it happened thus. It is neither history, you can't call it as a true history in the way we are going to define history. Because history is chronological order, dates should be there and all this should be there. You can compute it. All these things are there. There should be evidence, should be there, and all this is each and every aspect. Itihasa is actually, it is a story of great people who are having historical significance. Those type of persons we are taking and discussing. And the main objective of Itihasa is the author of the Itihasa wants to tell certain message. He wants to give certain message to the society. At the same time, what he will be doing is that he will take out a story, a good story. Over that Adhyaropana, what we can call, he will be putting over it certain aspects. The story he will be taking out, over that all these implications he will be putting, and he will be telling the message. That is why it is called Itihasa. Ramayana and Mahabharata, these are the two Itihasas we are having. This is called Mitra Samhita. The third scheme of things in Vedic Pranalika is actually there are some people who may not be understanding even those finer things also, finer aspects also they may not be understanding. For them, you need to elaborate, you need to discuss all those things. And if you don't discuss, they can't understand. Maybe if you tell Nirakara Brahma, wise people may understand it very easily. They can comprehend the particular aspect. Itihasa type of people also can understand to little extent. But the persons who are below that level, mass of people, they can't understand the significance of what we can call the things that are portrayed in Vedas. So here they have devised Puranas. Puranas are those things where each and every aspect, suppose Satyam Vada is there. Here they will be discussing the story of Satya Harishchandra. And Satya Harishchandra, how Satya Harishchandra was there, how he was born, how he was brought up, what was his marriage, and what are the things he stands for, and all these things he will be discussing. Ultimately, they come to a conclusion that Satyam is going to be the winner. Satyameva Jayate, like that they will be telling. At that time, the common mass of people will be inspired by that story. And ultimately, they will also be following, at least to a little extent. That is the third Pranalika, what we can call, the way they are discussing. The Mahabharata, it is Prabhu Samhita, Mitra Samhita, and then Puranas, and Kavyas are also there again. Kavyas are they called, they are what is called like a wife coming there and discussing with you certain aspects. Kanta Samhita, they call it. Kanta Samhita means your lover or otherwise something of that nature. If she is coming or he is coming and discussing certain aspects, immediately you listen. This is called Kanta Samhita. That is called Kavyas. Kavyas are actually we find Kalidasa Kavyas and all these things will be coming into this aspect. So like this, the ultimate aim and objective of all this Vedic Pranalika is to spread the message of Vedic dictums to all the people of the society. Because all the people of the society have to understand it is not necessarily should be constrained or restricted to certain sections of the people. That should go to all levels. That is the idea. Prabhu Samhita, Mitra Samhita, then what is called Kanta Samhita. This type of all the things are we come across in Pranalika, and the Itihasas belong to the second category. That is actually after the first stage, we are discussing the second stage of aspect. That is why Mahabharata is called Panchama Veda, because people tell that whatever that is there in Vedas, even if a person is well versed in the texts of Veda, even though he is well versed in understanding the Vedic dictums, Vedic aspects, and all these things, he may not be comprehending Vedic philosophy unless he reads Mahabharata. To that extent, Mahabharata as a stature is there. This means that Mahabharata will be the illustration of each and every aspect that is described in what is called Vedas. That is why, again, there is quintessence. Again, there is Mahabharata, entire Mahabharata, you can't read because it is a very big book. Big book in the sense it is consisting of some roughly 1 lakh shlokas. We are having 1 lakh shlokas. We are having 1 lakh shlokas. We can't read. Who will read? Because that is why emphatically people tell that majority of the sections of the people, maybe who have read, suppose 100% have read Ramayana, maybe only 10% will be reading entire Mahabharata. That is how they say, because it is a hugeness is there, very huge book. And again, people tell that it is hugeness is there. At the same time, Vedavyasa has written another 25 shlokas in the form of Harivamsa. Put together, it is 1,25,000 shlokas are there. 1,25,000 shlokas we have to read and we have to understand, comprehend, and all these things is virtually impossible. So we rely on TV shows, we rely on cinemas, and we rely on other aspects and some translations here and there. Some main characters we will take out and think that it is the Mahabharata. That is why Mahabharata, so many additions are there which are not there in original Mahabharata. So for example, whether Draupadi has laughed at Duryodhana, people believe that who see films, they will be feeling that yes, Draupadi has laughed because of this reason. He developed anger, vengeance, and all this. It's not there in Mahabharata. Similarly, entire Mayabazar is not there. Shashireka Parinayam is not there. Subhadra Parinayam is not there. Subhadra Apaharanam is there, but Subhadra Parinayam is not there. Like that, there are some stories, many stories have been intruded into the system because each and every person wants to do that. Similarly, Dushyanta says Shakuntala, forgetting about Shakuntala and all this is not there in original Mahabharata. So what has happened is that so many persons try to understand Mahabharata in their own perspective. They understood the Mahabharata. Only thing is that their audience is different. The audience of film people is something different. The audience of Kavya people is something different. So each and every person, what they thought is that in order to enrich their own substance, either Kavya or the film, whatever it may be, they actually molded the story. They changed the story also. Sometimes what happened is that because of this reason, some characters are actually the great characters are actually demeaned for some time. And some demeaned characters are brought to highlight to the great stage. Bhasa Kavyas are there, Urubhanga is there. Like that, what we can call in those type of things, if we read Bhasa stories and all, this is Duryodhana is the greatest person, Karna is the greatest person, like that we come across. But if you read the original story of Mahabharata, what will happen is that we will be understanding the real character of those persons. And even translations are there. Translations are also similar in nature. There are even, for that matter, I know only Telugu Mahabharata, because other languages I too don't know. The Telugu languages we come across, there are 3 persons who can translated Mahabharata. Nannaya, Tikkana, Erra, Pragada. They have also changed in some ways, some or other ways. Some vital concepts also sometimes they have changed. And people tell that it is the Mahabharata Prati, what they got must be correct only. So which is the correct Prati, that is also we will be discussing today. So this is about a principal structure of Mahabharata. Principal structure of Mahabharata, it comes to the second stage, that is Itihasa level it will be coming, and it will be discussing certain aspects. Each and every story is an illustration for the great dictum that is there in Mahabharata. For example, if you tell, if a person is very angry person, Krodha is there, Krodha, what will happen? Krodha bhavati sammoha smriti bhramsho buddhinasha vinasyati. Like that Gita tells. Gita is part and parcel of Mahabharata. Then Krodha, they will be coming across a story of Vishwamitra story. They will be bringing about Vishwamitra story. Vishwamitra story it is discussed in 3 or 4 chapters in Mahabharata. It is discussed. Wherein Vishwamitra will be getting angry, he cursed at some person, he will lose all his tapobalam. Like that it goes. So what is happening here is that for each and everything there is a story. Only thing is that we should have the knowledge to understand it, and Yaksha Prasnas are also same thing. So these things also will be very briefly we will be discussing, because today what I would like to discuss is introductory important wide picture of Mahabharata. What is Mahabharata and all this, how it was written down, number 1, and then how it was spread, and then what is the volume of Mahabharata. These are the things I will be discussing, so that we can be understanding the broad picture of Mahabharata. And one more thing, before discussing all these things, I would like to tell you one more thing is that before learning any subject for that matter, we should know why we are reading it. Because unless we are strongly convinced that this is going to help me in some way or other way, then only we should read it. Otherwise, there is no need or purpose in reading all the books. There are some books which are not, may not be to our wavelength, not required, because if suppose a nuclear science book is given to me, I may not be interested in it, because why I should read it? Because my area is something different and I don't understand anything, something of that nature. And again, learning all this is, there may not be any value addition for the society. Why should I read it? So similarly, before Mahabharata, also Mahabharata is no exception for this general rule. We should know why we should read Mahabharata. Why we should read Mahabharata, according to me, is that Mahabharata, even though, as I told you earlier, is not a true history in the fashion we define history. It is actually a book which reflects what we can call Indian Samajika, what is called Nirmanam. That is called societal systems, values, and all these things are depicted in Mahabharata. So whatever that is there in Mahabharata, if you begin to read Mahabharata from the beginning, what will happen is that how the society was functioning in those days. What is the requirement for us actually? Because whatever we are now following, more for a majority of the things, the roots are there in Mahabharata and Ramayana. The roots are there in Mahabharata. That is the reason why we need to read Ramayana and Mahabharata, because we need to understand the evolutionary stage of our roots, how their roots have evolved. And because Varnashrama Dharma system is there, no Varnashrama system is there, that is widely mentioned in Mahabharata and Ramayana, and how it has grown over a period of years, how it was degenerated, and now how the caste system is functioning instead of Varna system. In order to understand that, to go back to the original text only, otherwise we don't understand. We can't understand the origin, the development, the way the caste is functioning in present day society can't be understood in a broader perspective unless we go back to the original text of Mahabharata. Similarly, who is Vaishya, who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, who is Shudra, and all these things, are they really depicted in the same way that has been portrayed in the present day political society? That we have to see, because sometimes they'll be arguing. A few years back, also somebody was telling that all Rakshasas are Shudras, so that is why those people are suppressed, something of that nature. Rakshasas are not like that. Subsequently, somebody has pointed out it is not like that. Rakshasas are not Shudras. Ravana was a Rakshasa, he is a Brahmin, like that. Then they stop doing all these things. With the criticism and all these things in the present day society is also based on certain types of, we go back to Ramayana, Mahabharata, we invoke those stories, and then we will be telling that he has done like that, why I should not do like that, and all this is. So in order to understand that what is the moral picture that is available in those times, what is the morals that are available now, because morals will be changing from time to time, place to place, and person to person, they will be changing. Because what are morals 100 years back may not be morals now. What are morals now may not be morals for another 10 years back, 10 years henceforth. So it will be changing. But what is the thing is that we need to apply rationality now and then for each and every moral. And if the moral is going to stand to the test of reason, then only we have to adopt it for the present day situation. That is precisely what Mahabharata tells. Mahabharata is a very practical book. That it will be telling that you don't follow whatever that is there in this book. Sometimes you apply reason also. Maybe according to the conditions and all these things, you do all those things. But at the same time, it is not going to give you a liberal way, because it is not a so liberal society that is called a licentious society. It is not like that. What is more important is that the situation is more important, the condition is more important, and then you can follow. Because of a small example I will be giving you. The example is that Satyam Vada, you have to tell truth. There are some people who will be thinking that I have to tell only truth, come what may. That is your principle. For that, they tell a story. Mahabharata will be telling a story. Just Mahabharata story only I am telling here. A small story, because introduction class, no, what is the time? I don't know. Okay, no, I can't see time here. Sir, Babu sir, when the time is getting up, you just give me this one, sir, because I have not put the clock here anyway. Okay, here the story goes like this. A person is there, a mendicant. He was sitting in a forest doing meditation. He was in the habit of telling only truth. Even everybody knows that. Come what may, he will be telling the truth. And one day it so happened that some villagers are being chased by the thieves and robbers. They were chasing the villagers. The villagers were going with all ornaments, jewelry and all these things they were going. He was chasing them. When they were chasing, it was going on like that. And the people with a lot of fear and all these things, they came there and saw the mendicant's place, ashram. Immediately they came inside and then hid behind some walls and all these things. Because there was a lot of commotion, this man opened his eyes and saw people were coming there and hiding behind everything. He saw them. After a few minutes only, the robbers also came there. They were telling, "Oh Swamiji, you are here. You are known for telling truth only. Please tell the truth now. Have you seen any person?" "Yes, I have seen some persons." "Where are they?" "They are there. They are hiding there." Then immediately they caught hold of those persons. They killed them, and subsequently they robbed all those the things and they went out. And he actually, on the evening, he reflected whether I have done correctly or not. He thought I have done correct thing only because I am following the principle of dharma, what is called satyam. Satyam Vada is my principle which I have followed. That is also there in Vedas, it is there. So what is wrong in it? He thought like that. Subsequently, when he ultimately when he died, he was taken to the place hell only. Then he was arguing with arguing there, why I am taken to hell. The people were telling that you are responsible for killing of so many persons. Then he was telling I was following Satyavratam. Then they were telling you are following Satyam, which has been told by Vedas. We agree, but you have not understood the spirit of that particular dictum. The letter of the law you have followed, but you have not followed what we call the spirit of the law you have not followed. What is more important is that the principle, the satyam, what you have told should not lead to himsa. If it is going to lead to himsa, the satyam is not satyam, it is actually asatyam only. In that way, you are responsible for the death of so many persons. They told. This is the story what we come across in Mahabharata. So Mahabharata, what it is going to tell is that you need to see the situation. You need to apply the rationality you have to apply. The moral is there. The moral you apply rationality. When you apply rationality, you can find the truth. So you have to understand more. You should not rely on the letter of the law. What is more important is that you have to see the spirit behind the particular dictum and you have to follow it. It is also telling so many other aspects of this nature. Thing is that there are certain times we will be telling if you do Koti Bilvarchana or Koti Rama, writing of Rama, sentence like that, you will be directly going to the Shivaloka. That is called Mahabharata will be telling it is Arthavada. They tell Arthavada means it is only just to magnify the significance of that particular aspect only. It has been told like that. Don't think that it is going to give you all salvation. What is more important is that internal Shuddhi and external Shuddhi. That is more important. Shama, Dama. All these things are important. Shama, Dama. All those things, if they are not there, Samadhi Shakya Sampatti, what we can call, if they are not there, you are not going to attain moksha. What is more important is those things are more important, not this writing of all these things. The practical aspect they will be telling. Even Gita, if you come across Gita, ultimately what Bhagavan Krishna tells is that Arjuna, I have been telling all these things. You ultimately what you have to do is that you need to understand. You read it. After reading it, if you feel that it is good, you follow it. Otherwise, it is up to you. Like that he will be telling. One more shloka also it is coming, we come across in Bhagavad Gita. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Here we come across this type of statements we will come across in Bhagavad Gita. Maybe this is the only, Sanatana Dharma is the only place where you find there is no you need not to say that this is, but actually this can't be violated like that. Thing is that here you don't violate. Thing is that you need to understand the significance of that particular thing. And you are having the full liberty to discuss all these things, because discussion, deliberation and all these things are even more prominent in Mahabharata. And you take any simple story. The simple story, what they tell is that they try to, because there are even the bad fellows in Mahabharata. Those persons also try to see whether that what he is doing is dharma or adharma. First of all, they discuss it. And then if it is dharma, and they will be invoking that this is dharma, because of this reason I am doing this. Something they try to justify it. The justification is correct or not, that is a different issue. According to him, it is correct or not, he will try to discuss it, and then he will proceed it. The discussion of dharma values will be there in Mahabharata umpteen number of times. That is why I will be telling whoever, wherever I go, I will be telling that my audience, I will be telling that don't read Mahabharata stories alone. If you read the stories alone, you are nowhere, because you will be reading any other story or something of that nature. Whether as Peddamma Katha like that, you will be reading the story and you will be forgetting it. But here it is, not even if you remember also, there is no significance over it. But what is it? Because in Mahabharata, how you have to read Mahabharata is also, you need to see the dharmic discussion that is there in each and every place. You have to, the discussion will be there. The discussion is more important than the true story. The story is only for the purpose of children. For elders, what is more important is that the what is called the dharma, rational behind that story will be discussed in the story itself. It will be there in somewhere other place. Only thing is that we have to decipher it. That is the idea here, please. And this type of reading only, how to read the Mahabharata is also like that. For that matter, Ramayana also like that. So we need to understand the dharmic discussion we have to see, and then we have to see. Because, for example, I can be giving you an example. Saindhava, he tries to abduct Draupadi. When he tries to abduct Draupadi, and it is what he is doing is a wrong thing, because he is trying to abduct a lady who has been married to 5 Pandavas. He knows that she is actually, Saindhava is not a new person. He is actually that Dussala's husband. Dussala is Pandava's sister only, sister of Pandavas. He is husband of Dussala. That person comes there. Actually, he should actually respect Draupadi. Instead of doing that, he tries to grab her and he wants to take her out. At that stage also, he will be discussing whether it is dharma or dharma. He says, yes, because in the kingdom, all the jewels belong to the king. All the jewels and all the beautiful things belong to the kings. She is a jewel. I am taking her. Like that, he will tell and he will be taking, because that is even then also the discussion of dharma aspect he wants to invoke before taking her. So here thing is that the dharma is wrong. That is a different issue. But thing is that he tries to invoke that dharma. So like that, in the stories of Mahabharata, we come across, there are many occasions we come across these type of discussions we come across. That is why we need to read in order to understand all these things. We need to read Mahabharata. The roots of our traditions, roots of our culture is also there in Mahabharata. Whatever that we are following now, they are there in Mahabharata and Ramayana. So in order to trace back the evolution stage of all these things, we need to read Mahabharata. I will be giving you one more example. The example is that roots. Normally, even now also, at present situation, when we go to the elder persons, or any lady is there in the house, or children are there, something of that nature, what we do is that normally we go there with some, what is called something, some gift we will be taking, or whatever it may be, some fruits or something of that nature we will be taking. Rikta hastas, we don't go. That is there or not? It is even now also it is there. That can be traced back to Mahabharata, it is there. I will be telling you a small incident we come across. Alambashu, or in Telugu we call him as Alambasa. He is a demon. We can call the Rakshasa was fighting on behalf of Duryodhana, and Ghatotkacha was fighting on behalf of Pandavas. The both persons fought together on that day. When they fought together, Alambashu was killed. When Alambashu was killed, Ghatotkacha plucked his head out of his body, plucked it out physically. He brought it to the court of Duryodhana. When he brought it to the court of Duryodhana, then he will be presenting that one. He will be telling Maharaja, on the night, because the battle took place in the night and the day. When the night the battle took place, he brought the head of that particular gentleman, but Alambashu, and gave it to Duryodhana and tells Duryodhana, Maharaja, I have come here because the person who wants to get dharmartha kama mochas in this world, that type of person will not go to the Raja, will not go to the lady, or will not go to any elder person with empty hands. He will not go. But that is why I have brought you a gift. The gift is this head. You take it. Like that, he will be giving. Even that situation is something different. The situation is a very serious situation. And the serious situation, again, this discussion will be coming out. There is a tradition. Rikta Hasta, I will be reading out particular. I don't remember that particular shloka immediately. Just I will be reading out. This is called. Swadharmamartham kamancha tritayam yobhivanchati. Riktapanir napashyeta rajanam brahmanam priyam. That when you go to Raja and Brahmana and also elder lady, if you go there, what you are supposed to do is Riktapanir napashyeta rajanam brahmanam striyam. Like that it is there. It is there. Drona Parva it is there. So here, what they are telling is that here he is telling a very beautiful analogy will be coming out. From that day onwards, maybe, or prior to that also, maybe this particular sentence is there, this particular practice is there. Practices which we are following now can be traced back to Mahabharata practices. This practice is there even now also we are following this practice. So this is how Mahabharata, many things will be there. We come across this type of things. Very similarly, we come across one more beautiful incident. That incident also I will be telling. The incident goes like this. Bhagadatta is one gentleman. I believe, I think Narakasura's son. I have to once again check it out. And Narakasura's son, he was also there in the war, waging on the side of Duryodhana. He was having a great, very hefty elephant he was having. The hefty elephant, they tell it as Supratikam, they tell. Supratikam was the name of the elephant. That elephant cannot be beaten by any person. In Mahabharata war, Bhima has killed most of the elephants he has killed, because with a single stroke of his mace, he used to destroy he used to kill any type of elephant. But this particular elephant was so huge that it was not accessible to Bhimasena. He could not rise up to that level and he could not kill it. That much height it is there. It was destroying so many warriors on the side of Pandavas. It was roaming like anything. It is a wild elephant. Then how to kill it? At one stage, it is about to kill Bhimasena also. Bhimasena just escaped and entered in between its legs, and he comes out. The description is like that. Then how to kill it? Then Arjuna aims an arrow. The aim of the arrow was such a powerful arrow that it goes deep into its neck. It went up to its tail and goes out of like that. Then it becomes very standstill. It could not move. The elephant could not move. The elephant was in that situation. It was there. It was a standstill position. When it was a standstill position, what happened is that at that time, Bhagadatta was telling, move like that. He was telling, but it was not moving. How it was not moving? It was not moving as if a very Daridra person is there. Daridra person is telling something. His wife is not listening at all to him. Like that it is discussed. A wife will not listen to a person who is very poor person. A poor husband is there. Poor husband, hundreds of times he is telling. Wife will not listen. Just like that. This elephant is also not moving. For that I will be telling that particular shloka. Nakari bhagadattena Preryamano muparyuhu na karoti vachastasya daridrasyena yoshita. If a daridra is there, daridra's words will not, just like that, a daridra's words will not be heeded or not cared by his wife. Similarly, the Bhagadatta's elephant is not caring the words of Bhagadatta. It just became a standstill. The situation is something different, but thing is that the words that have been brought here are actually those type of things. You come across these type of situations, this type of sentences. We should not just leave the shloka and then move forward. We have to stop there for some time, deliberate, discuss, and then we can find the roots. Similarly, that what we call Shemi Vrusha Puja, all these things are traced back to Mahabharata. This is one aspect. So Mahabharata has to be read because in order to understand our roots, in order to understand so many practices which we are having today, we have to go back to Mahabharata and read it. And Mahabharata, more than that, Mahabharata discusses dharma, artha, kama, mokshas, and all these things it will be discussing. It is a book which is called, people tell that it is a logical book. Some people tell that it is a dharma book. Some people tell that it is a book for moksha, attaining moksha. Some people that it is a logical, it is called Kavya Vastu, it is there, something, some people like that. Each and every person, whoever he is there, he has seen everything in this, because a person who is well knowledgeable person in Jyotisha, he finds Jyotisha principles in Mahabharata. The person who is well versed in Gandharva Veda, he will be coming across all these things in Mahabharata. So each and every aspect is there. That is why Mahabharata, before writing Mahabharata, Vedavyasa has told, Yadihi asti tadanyatra. Enne asti natat kvachit. Like that he will be telling, whatever that is there, Yadihi asti tadanyatra. Whatever that is there here is not there anywhere. Whatever that is there in Mahabharata can be found anywhere, like that he will be telling. So to that extent, so emphatically he has told. And that is how we have to understand Mahabharata. So it is containing so many things, because that is why it is called Panchama Veda. And Panchama Veda is actually 4 Vedas. Those who can't understand Vedas, they at least read Mahabharata. So you understand whatever that is there in Veda principles, you will be understanding. With illustrations, you will be understanding. That is why you need to read Mahabharata. And this is with regard to the why we have to read Mahabharata portion. Then once that is over, and then who has written it and how it was spread, and what are the translations available for this and this type of thing. Here is that here, man, if you take into consideration normally, a human being, he will be having stream of thoughts will be there every day. According to psychologists also, people tell that at least some 10,000 thoughts will be hitting your head all the time. It will be hitting your mind, and you will be always thinking one aspect. You need to observe. You sit there for some time and you need to analyze yourself. So in a period of maybe 5 minutes, you come across something or other thing will be flashing your mind, and just it will be evading like a bubble in the waters. It will be coming and it will be going out. Some will stay for some time in the mind, maybe for 5-10 minutes, and so that it will be going again. Some other new thought will be coming. Either the thoughts will be coming, stream of thoughts will be coming and hitting your mind. And people estimate that it is some 10,000 thoughts. I don't know exact figure, because sometimes 10,000 thoughts will be hitting your mind. If this is the case, what will happen is that mind will not be stand. It will not be still. Mind will not be there. When still mind is there, then only you can contemplate, comprehend, and you can understand certain aspects. Mahabharata story, how it began is that they tell stillness of mind is required. In order to tell that, they have again told a story. The story is like that. The story is actually the Mahabharata, entire Mahabharata was told by one person by name Ugrashrava. Initially, Vaishampayana Janamejaya has told the entire story. When the story was told, Ugrashrava happened to be in the court, in that particular court. He heard the entire Mahabharata. He came out and he wanted to spread the message of Mahabharata to all the people. He was also finding the good audience. The audience was actually Sutaka. He was there. In those days, he was a Kulapati, people call. Kulapati is nothing but actually at present day we call it, usually translated as a chancellor, we call it. But Kulapati is a person who is having some 10,000 students at a time. If he can give education in a single institution, he is in the position to give education for 10,000 students at a time. He is called Kulapati. Sutaka was this Shaunaka, not Sutaka. Shaunaka was Kulapati. He was there in Naimisharanya. One Aranya is there. In that area, he was there. In that area, when he was having 10,000 disciples were there, to that place, this Ugrashrava comes, and they requested Ugrashrava to tell Mahabharata story, and he narrated the entire story. Why this Naimisharanya? Naimisharanya is again, the significance is there. We can trace back it to Mahabhagavatam, we can trace back the story. Thing is that all at the end of Dwapara Yuga and the starting of Kali Yuga, all the rishis, all the mendicants, all these persons could not find a place where they can concentrate and focus their things. People tell now yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, we tell, because chittam has just come to a standstill. So because of this reason, they went to Brahmadeva. You show us a place where we can comprehend, we can ponder over, we can meditate. Like that, a good place you please suggest wherein we can do some yajnas, yagas and all this is they went there. When they went there, Brahma actually he created out of his mind, he created a wheel and set it rolling. The wheel was rolling, it was going like that. Then he told all the rishis, you follow this, wherever it goes, it stands, that is a place for you to meditate. So they were following. It went to the different lokas, Devaloka, Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, all the places it was going, moving like that. Ultimately, it came to one place in Earth. And there, the Nemi is there. No, Nemi is actually a spoke, what we can call. For the wheel, there will be a spoke will be there. The spoke has actually got destroyed and it has fallen down. They thought that this is a good place. Nemi has fallen there because of this reason. It is called Naimisharanya. Even now also we call it Naimisharanya. Ultimately, what is the significance of this story? Significance of the story is that where the thoughts will be coming, the stream of thoughts come to a standstill position, that is called a Naimisharanya. In that way, we have to understand it. In this Naimisharanya, people were doing meditation or people were doing yajnas and yagas. They were doing Satra Yaga, to be frank. At that place, the Romaharshana comes and he tells the story. Because in order to understand Mahabharata story, just like that, if you sit some place and read it in like that, you may not be understanding the import of the story. What is more important is that that stage, that type of stillness, if it comes to your mind, then you can comprehend the story. That is how it has been narrated here. So this is spreading of the story. Then how it was written down is also very important. The written down is actually. So I will bring my phone, sir, because so that I can see that time. Only 1 minute I will bring. It's there. Another 7 to 8 minutes. It is there. Fine. So here it is said that Vedavyasa, he was actually is the author of the Mahabharata. At the same time, he is also an actor in Mahabharata. Both ways it is there. He is also there in Mahabharata. Is there in so many ways. Times he will be coming to because this entire progeny of Kuruvamsha started from him only. And he is also coming to many times. He will be coming to Dharmaraja, Duryodhana, and giving some advice and all this. That is also there. So he has seen the story and he has also visualized the story. And then he went to Himalayas. Vyasa Guha even now also it is there. In the Vyasa Guha beyond Haridwar, there he sat, he was actually meditating. And then at one stage, he visualized the entire Mahabharata, the entire scheme of Mahabharata in his mind. And then this is a great message. The message has to be given to the people because people have to understand the message of the Vedas. So what he thought is that he wanted to write it down, but his thoughts are going in such a flow that there should be one person who should write this, who should be capable enough to stand to the flow of thoughts and write all those things in a letter form, in a book form. So he prayed for Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva appeared before him and suggested that you take the help of Ganapati. He prayed for Ganapati. He appeared before him. Ganapati was also a busy person. He can't stay there because for each and every function he has to go out, no? Because he can't stay for many number of years there. Then he told, okay, no, he gave a condition to Vedavyasa. I can write whatever you are going to tell with the same speed I will write. But thing is that I give you a condition. The condition is that you should never stop it. If you stop it, I will just go out. You should continue it. Then Vedavyasa thought for a while. Maybe he told, maybe he may also require some time, breathing time sometimes, maybe. So what he told is that, okay, I will be telling the shlokas. When I am telling the shlokas, what I put a condition to you is that you should understand the shloka and then only you should write it. Otherwise, you should not write it. That is how Vedavyasa gave the condition. Ganapati told it, okay, it's fine. He agreed for it and he sat there. Vedavyasa was telling and he was writing. The flow of thoughts were going like that. And he was giving, he was telling continuously, he was telling and he was writing continuously. And don't think that it is not possible. Because even in the 20th century also, it was possible by some people. You believe it or not, Vishwanatha Satyanarayana, the person who got Gnanapith Award, he was going in a train the train stopped for 6 hours in one place. He asked his student, come here, I will be telling some poems, I'll write down like that. He started telling 600 poems he told in 6 hours, and he wrote down everything. That has come out a big book. Book name I don't remember, but this I have read it. So this is the sandhana of those persons who are like that. Imagine the wisdom of Vedavyasa. You can't even imagine the wisdom of Vedavyasa. So that person was continuously telling. Ganapati was also writing continuously. He was a great, he was a god. He was writing. Here, sometimes Vedavyasa wanted to tell a great truth from Vedas. At that time, he also wants to think over for some time. At that time, what he was telling is that he used to put a difficult shloka, very difficult shloka, which can be interpreted in 3 or 4 ways. He used to put it there. And Ganapati also takes time to understand that shloka. Before the condition is that he has to understand that shloka and then only he has to write it. So in order to understand it, he finds some time. By the time, Vedavyasa could frame some another 300 to 400 shlokas in his mind, and he was again dictating. It went up like that continuously for 3 years. People tell Mahabharata, it is written down. In Madhiparva only we come across it. It was completed in 3 years. 3 years, entire Mahabharata consisting of that entire Mahabharata was over. Then when it is over, it was a great book that has to be handed over to the generations of the people, how it should be done. So Vedavyasa was also trying how to do it, because when Kurukshetra war was over, Abhimanyu died. At that time, his son was Janamejaya was there. His son was Parikshit, and like that it Parikshit, and then Parikshit's son was Janamejaya. One generation, Parikshit generation was over. Then the next generation is Janamejaya. And Janamejaya, when he was performing that Sarpayaga, at that time, Janamejaya, when the Sarpayaga was finished, he wanted to hear the story of Mahabharata in order to, what is called, whatever Papa he has done, that should go. Because of this reason, he wanted to hear the story of his great forefathers. At that time, Vedavyasa comes there and he says, yes, my disciple Vaishampayana will be coming here, and he will tell the story. That person told the entire story to Janamejaya. That story was heard by Ugrashava, again a Suta. That Suta came here and he propagated the ideas. And here, where the Mahabharata, the very basic principle we can understand from this particular story is that in those days, the person who is having wisdom was given a lot of respect. It is there because Suta, normally what we call Karna, belongs to Suta. We say that Suta is a lower caste person, what we may call now. But it is not like that. In those days, even though a Brahmin can become a Shudra and Shudra can become a Brahmin, that flexibility was there in Mahabharata. We come across many stories are there in Mahabharata. Who is Brahmin? The discussion is there. Who is Shudra? The discussion is there. Here also, the basic preliminary, even before, even not going with the discussions and all these things, we can know that here the Suta is the person who come there because he was having wisdom. The person actually told the entire thing, the entire Mahabharata there in all these rishis, he told. All the rishis, the Kulapati and all his disciples heard the entire story from the Suta. They heard the story because Suta was having wisdom. Similarly, Sanjaya we come across in Mahabharata. Sanjaya is also a Suta. Sanjaya is the person who was sent for Rayavaram by Duryodhana. He came there to the court of Pandavas. He comes there. Upaplavya, he comes there, and he will be discussing what is called you take a treaty, something of that nature. This is all these things we come across in Mahabharata. So many things we come across. So here, this is how the entire Mahabharata was written down. Okay, that was written down. That was told by Vaishampayana initially, subsequently elaborated by this person. That 8,800 shlokas, he has written like that. The difficult shlokas, people tell that there are roughly around 8,800 shlokas are there. In entire 1 lakh stories structure, some 8,800 shlokas are difficult shlokas, which normally very difficult to understand. Even though also there are many scholars will be interpreting in different ways. They will be interpreting. The shloka will be there. The interpretation is difficult. That is why normally true translations, if you take also, it's very difficult to understand those shlokas. That is 8,000 Grandha Grandhi, what we can call. That particular 8,800 shlokas are called Grandha Grandhi, because Grandhi means mudi, what is called knot, KNOT knot. The knots are some 8,800 knots are there. The knots he has put it, and that it is also Jaya, that is also there. Initially, Vedavyasa called the entire Mahabharata as a Jayam, he called it. And with a lesser number of shlokas, people tell. Subsequently, the lesser number of shlokas, because the quality wisdom of Vaishampayana and his other Shishyas was such that they can understand it easily. That is why some shlokas, and maybe some people tell that it is less than 12,000 shlokas or whatever it may be, he told to Vaishampayana. Vaishampayana, when he wanted to elaborate it to Janamejaya could not understand to that extent. So he started giving some more shlokas in order to add, in order to make it understand. He added some more shlokas. And then but not deviating from the original, what is called the structure of Mahabharata written by Vedavyasa. Subsequently, when Ugrashrava, when he wanted to elaborate it to the Rishis, it was again expanded like that. So here what happened is that because it was expanded and ultimately it was given down to people across the country. But from that day onwards, Guru Parampara, there are so many persons who used to recite the entire shlokas and then pass on the shlokas to further generations of the people. Like that it went on, Guru Parampara, it went on like that ultimately. And the people believe that there are some additions are there, accretions are there. This maybe it might have happened, we don't know, because over a period of, because Kurukshetra war, people tell that it happened in 3112 BC. Some people tell, we don't have the clear picture because it is very difficult to establish. But majority of the historians now feel that it is written down. Maybe it happened at around, Kurukshetra war happened at around 3112 BC. Maybe that is 3,000 years, it is 2,000 years, some 5,000 years back it happened. People believe. But I don't know. We can't establish because evidences and all these things. That is a different person's portfolio. That is called archaeological evidences, or what we can call some other evidences. All these things, maybe literature reviews and all these things. Maybe the first reference of Mahabharata we come across in this is called Ashvalayana Sutra. We come across, and what is called some other place. Panini is there. Ashtadhyay. There also we come across the first mention of what we can call Mahabharata. We come across, and subsequently it was mentioned by Arthashastra. Also, it is mentioned. That is called Arthashastra. Some 3rd century AD BC they call it. Similarly, Ashvalayana Sutras also somewhere 4th century BC people call it. Those places itself Mahabharata has been mentioned. So in that way it has been propagated. Okay, fine. Thing is that here, once it is propagated like that, and then present day people have to understand it, how is to be done. Because Kesari Ganguly, one gentleman is there, he has actually translated the entire Mahabharata into English first time. It is somewhere in 1883, I believe. 1 minute, I'll just see it. 1883, I don't know where I have written down. Somewhere in 83. No, somewhere I have missed it anyway. And it is 1883 to 1896 people. It is there. 1883 to 1896, please. So here he has written down 1883 to 1896. He has translated Kesari Ganguly. He translated it into English. People tell that it is a true picture. True picture means whatever that is there in Mahabharata, that only has taken and he has written down. People believe it. That is supposed to be a true translation of Mahabharata. People tell. But what is the true original work of Mahabharata? So again, the Bhandarkar Institute in Pune. Bhandarkar Institute in Pune, what they have done is that they try to take out the Mahabharata Prati, what we can call Mahabharata Prati, that is available not only in India and across other countries also, and all those things they collated, and they did research for over 49 years. They did research, And they thought that they come out with a book that is called, even now also we call it as a Bhandarkar Prati, that is also available in Amazon and other places we come across. The Bhandarkar Prati is also, people believe that that is also a true test of Mahabharata, because that is a true test of Mahabharata. They have taken out Mahabharata tests that are available in different places, try to put it in one place, and they did some research, and they felt that these are the things which are correct, like that is the scholars put together, they come out with the Prati that is called Bhandarkar edition, what we can call, and that is now available. That is one book we are getting. The other book we are getting is that Gita Press people. Gita Press is also famous for this type of books. They have also come out, Gorakhpur Press. They have also come out with one edition that is called Gorakhpur Press edition, that is there. And there is one more edition is there, that is Kumbhakonam Prati. Tamil people, Sangam literature and all these things if you come across, after Sangam literature also from 6th century BC people tell. Now recently that has been pushed back to another 300 years, Sangam literature. And recently Times of India, it has come out some it has been pushed back to another 300 years. So here anyway, some say 600 or 800 BC onwards Sangam literature is there. From that time also Mahabharata has been mentioned there also. And there Tamil people also come out with one version of Mahabharata that is called Kumbhakonam Prati, that is there. Kumbhakonam Prati is also available. Kumbhakonam Prati, basically now 3 tests are available. One is called Kumbhakonam Prati is there, Gorakhpur Prati is there, Bhandarkar Prati is there, and also some North Indian Prati is there. People tell that I have not seen so far, but that is in Hindi. Because of this reason, I am not very good in Hindi. So in that way, I have not seen that particular Prati. That Prati is in North Indian Prati. Madhvacharya, when he was given this commentary on Mahabharata, he actually taken the version of North Indian version also he has taken. And there are some Madhvacharya commentary, if you begin to take, there are some places where we come across the stories a little bit different also is there, because of the precise reason that he has taken that Prati also. Majority of the people now in South India and other places, we will be taking this, what we can call, we will be taking this Prati, we will be taking. So anyway, one thing what we have to observe in all the Pratis is that, and basically I have seen the Prati of Kumbhakonam Prati, I have seen Bhandarkar Prati, I have seen, and Gorakhpur Prati also it is there. That is called, the work is there. But all the places, all the shlokas are very, very, very similar. Here and there, Patantara is there. Some minor variations are there here and there, but the true test they have followed. Everybody has followed the true test, same test it is followed. So broadly, these are the tests we come across in Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is Yuktya Bharatam name, like that people will be telling. So we need to understand Mahabharata with intellect. We have to read it. This is called Panchama Veda, and this is it is spread. And for this there are some people who have written what we can call. In order to understand Mahabharata, it is very difficult to understand Mahabharata. And for that, there are some persons, traditional scholars have written commentaries. The commentaries are actually, this is, we can come across Nilakanta, one person, he has written down. One more person, Devadatta or some person, I don't know, that I have Prati, I have not seen, that is why I don't know it. And anyway, Nilakanta Prati, that is available in the, again, Amazon it is available. He is around 18th century, 19th century scholar. He has written down a great commentary in Mahabharata, entire 1 lakh shlokas he has written down. And because of this reason, even now also we can find Gita's commentary, we can Nilakanta Vyakya, we find it. And this is also there. And then Mahabharata, the importance of Mahabharata, I think time is over. I think time is over, I believe. Sir, Babu sir, time is over, it is still there.
You can continue for another 5 minutes.
Okay, fine. And here, Mahabharata, the importance of Mahabharatam is that in Mahabharata, we find, as I told in the beginning, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, all 4 things are elaborately discussed. When it was elaborately discussed, ultimate aim of this Purusharthas is attaining moksha. For that, we come across 3 different important things we come across in Mahabharata. One is called Sanat Sujatiyam, we come across. And then we come across Bhagavad Gita, we come across Vishnu Sahasranama. All the 3 are available in Mahabharata only. And you believe it or not, for all these 3 things, Shankaracharya has written commentary. So Shankaracharya has written commentary, and 3 particular chapters of Mahabharata, that is called the Bhagavad Gita he has written down, Chana Sujatiyam he has written down, and similarly Vishnu Sahasranam also he has given a commentary. So to that extent, it is very important text. And apart from that, it is compared into Moksha Parvas. And so we come across Dharma aspect, we come across Viduraniti, we come across here, Yaksha Prasnas, we come across a Dharma Vyada episode, we come across here only. So these type of things. And there are many shlokas, many what we can call daily we'll be reciting Devi Archanas we will be doing, Devata Prarthanas we will be doing. Ashwini Stotram we come across in Mahabharata only, Durga Stotram we come across in Mahabharata only, Siva Sahasranama we come across in Mahabharata only. Like that, there are many other things also there in Mahabharata. That is why Yadi Hasti Tadanyatra Enne Hasti Natat Kochit, like that we relate. So this is the total structure of Mahabharata. Today I have given a brief introduction. It is consisting of some 18 parvas it is there. Out of the 18 parvas, Mahabharata war took place for 18 days again. And then the entire thing is Veda Vyasa is very, very much interested in the 1-8 aspect. That is only 18 days war, 18 parvas of 18 parvas. Like that, everything is 18, 18, 18 like that. For that, why 18? There are some stories are there. Those stories we don't want to, we need not discuss here. This is a broad introduction of Mahabharata, please. And you can ask some questions today. And tomorrow onwards, what I propose to do is that because Mahabharata, if we begin to tell the what we can call again Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, like that, if we tell, we don't understand. We don't understand the what is called the spirit behind Mahabharata. So what I would like to tell is that take out a story. Initially, for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 or 20 minutes, I will tell the story part and then discuss what is there in the Mahabharata regarding to Dharma, regarding to Artha, Kama, Moksha, human frailties, Kobha, Krodha, Kama, and all these things and all these things. It is a practical book. So we'll be discussing like that in another 4 days. With that, we'll be basically covering what is called the basic structure of Mahabharata. We'll be covering for another 4 days. Now I will close my lecture and it is open for some questions and all these things, please.
ధన్యవాదములండి. Now there are 1 or 2 questions in chat box. Chala Chittibabu garu, would you like to ask them?
Right.
Voice is not coming.
Saugandi, 1 minute. You hold on.
Is my voice coming?
Now it's coming. Okay.
Yes, now it's coming.
Okay. If interpretation of Dharma, Satya is left to individual, it will become very subjective. People can apply their own interpretation and do different things based on their situation. Please clarify on this. That's the question.
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. People will be interpreting in their own fashion. So then how to do it? That is true. What you are telling is exactly true, sir. Because thing is that everybody says that because the same situation is there. 2 persons will be telling in different perspectives, and each claim that he is according to Dharma. That is a difficulty. But in order to what is called which is Dharma and which is not Dharma. So for this, that is why precisely Mahabharata says that you begin to read different types of stories of Mahabharata or Ramayana, whatever it may be. What we can come across is that we can gain some certain discriminative intellect, whereby at least as a true judge sitting from the outside, we can feel that this is Dharma. As I told the story of that robbers chasing villagers and all these things. The Satyam, what he was following is not Satyam, according to the discussion. So here also same thing. What is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha and all these things. Each and every person will be interpreting his own fashion. But thing is that in order to have that real knowledge of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, we need to deliberate on this subject. Because this is a case studies. Because these are all case studies. Mahabharata is nothing but a case studies of entire Vedic dictums. Each and every story is a case study for certain aspect. And people, when we teach what is called management principles or whatever it may be, students also, what we will be doing is that we will be telling that fact, we will be telling and then give a case study. You read the case study, and try to apply to the situation. Here also same thing. You need to take out the case studies of Mahabharata. So in order to understand what is called how a person can attain liberation, then you need to the story of what is called the Dharmavyada story. You need to read it. And then what is Danam? You read the story of Shibi Chakravarti, Karna, like that, try to compare it, and which is good dana and which is bad dana, something like that, of that nature we come across. Similarly, there are different stories of similar nature will be there. You need to juxtapose these two stories. And here one thing is justified, there another thing is justified. Put together, both put together, you try to assess it. With again, either Mahabharatam or Upanishads or some other place you have to take out and try to understand it. Then only we can understand. So because here people I'll be telling Danam is there. I'll be discussing this maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I'll be discussing Danam, which is Danam. Karna has also done a great Danam. Shibi Chakravarti has also done a great Danam. Which is greater Danam? Then what will be say? People believe that Karna is a great person who is in giving charity and all this is. But Shibi Chakravarti is also there. Dadichi is also there on another side. Take all these persons, try to compare, analyze. Then what will happen is that we can find some discriminative intellect we will gain. By means of which we say that this person is little bit, one person's dhanam is little bit on the lower wavelength and some other person is in the higher wavelength, like that we can understand. So that is in order to understand and all these things, whether a particular person according to his perception when he is doing it, there should be other person who should tell, no, this is like this because of this rationality. That is why only the moral is there. Apply rationality, reason, and then you find out the real one. This is how we have to take out, sir. Otherwise, it is not possible.
Okay, next.
If Mahabharata happened in real sense, why it is referred to as a story?
I think Babu Garu, I will read out because your voice is not coming out properly.
Is it okay now?
Is okay now.
If Mahabharata happened in real sense, why it is referred to as a story?
Mahabharata, as I told you, sir, this is itihasa. It is not a true history. History is having certain basic parameters will be there. History should be actually chronological order should be there. If at all it is, you have to claim it as a history. Chronological order should be there. Date should be mentioned and when it happened and all these things. And second thing is that people believe that in history, what we read present day history, same compared to Mahabharata. Mahabharata, very frequently we come across gods coming into the earth and meeting with the people. The historians of the present day, they can't comprehend gods coming and talking to the people. That is a myth, they call it. So here, traditional people like us, we believe that in those days the gods were coming. What are those gods? These historians will ask. The problem here is that the history as is being defined in 20th century or 21st century, the same definition cannot be applied to Mahabharata because in those time gods were used to come there. Through gods, some people were born at the time and they were mixing together and they were going together and all this is. Narada very frequently was coming, Vedavyasa very frequently was coming. And historians cannot say that and when he came and all these things, it is very difficult to give a chronological order or dates and all these things. That it is not a history. So it is only a itihasa. Itihasa means it is only, it happened like that. It is actually, the story has happened. And the purpose, as I told you in the beginning, Vedavyasa has taken that story and he wanted to give a message to the people. The message has to be given to the people through this story. So he has Adhyaropana here, he has done, and he has done the Adhyaropana of Vedic dictums over the story of Mahabharata which had happened, and then he tried to elaborate it, and then he has to give it. In that way, the story has been, we have to understand the story. Really speaking, the story is meant for the purpose. Story is only a pretext for giving a text. It is a pretext. Story is a pretext for giving a text. The text is for the purpose of spreading the knowledge of Vedic knowledge. So that is the reason why that is a scheme of things for Vedavyasa. He has taken the story which has happened. People believe that it happened at that time. The story he has actually added certain aspects without deviating the story. The story is intact. Like Rajatarangani Kalhana is there. No? Same as here also he has mentioned some genealogies of so many persons he has mentioned. So there also it is like that. The purpose is something different. The story is only a pretext for giving that entire text. So that is why he has taken the story and he has given it. In that way we have to understand it. Then it can be easily understood, sir.
Okay, next.
The other question is that in every kalpa there was Mahabharata type of war?
Yes, sir, that is
You
there.
got it?
Yes, sir, I got it. Because people believe that, or it is mentioned that whatever is happening now, maybe after the Pralaya, Mahapralaya will happen. At that time, again, the same thing will be repeated like that. The story is like that. Is why only we come across many stories of this nature. Hanuman comes there with a ring, and he was a little arrogant at that time. I only have got it. And then we come Adhyatma Ramayana, we come across. This ring was slipped. It went deep into the water. And then he went deep into the water. Then he found one more. So many Hanumas he found out. Then the person sitting there told, like you, many persons have come, they lost the ring here, like that. Then he realized his mistake and he went back like that. The thing is that here the story conveys that the story is getting repeated again and again. It will be repeated over a period of years again, over a period of Kalpanta. Because we are having what is called 4 yugas. We are having one is Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Each 4 times higher. Some 17 lakhs 18,000 years is Kali Yuga, they tell. Over it another 4 times Dwapara Yuga. Over it is like that. And everything, all the 4 yugas are over. This is called one Mahayuga. Like that, some 70 or 72 Mahayuga should be over to become a Kalpa. And that Kalpa, so it will be, it runs to billions of years, it will run. And after that, only the Pralaya will be coming, not at the end of the 4 yugas. 4 yugas is only a Mahayuga, and then again new yuga will start, Satya Yuga will start. Like that, some 70 yugas should get over. 70 or 72, I believe. We have to verify it. 72, I believe. Once the entire thing is over, that is called a Pralaya will happen. When the Pralaya happens, again the new seeds, with the new seeds, again the Srushti will start. When the Srushti starts at the time, again the same people will be born, again it will be people will tell. So that is only, we don't have any clear-cut scientific evidences and all these things, we can't find it, but it is only, that is a bit traditionally we believe it. That is it.
Okay, sir. The other question is that in Treta Yuga, the Devas used to frequent earth because righteousness was more
Yes, sir.
predominant in those times and not in Kali Yuga.
Yes, sir. People tell, sir. People tell. You are exactly correct. Thing is that in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga, Dharma was more predominant in those situations, because Dharma was predominant. Yatra Dharma, Tata Krishna, like that people tell. No? That is, Devas will be coming only when there is Dharma. So they used to frequent. Now Kali Yuga, we can't see because Dharma has gone down. But here also some people claim that they have seen God, because Dharma is still there. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he could see God. Vivekananda could see God. Like that, a few persons we come, Ramana Maharshi has seen God, like that, because they are still the path of Dharma they are following. For those persons, the God has appeared. People, for all people, God, we can't see God, because maybe what you told, because Dharma has gone down. So we may not be pursuing, we can't see them. We can interpret in that fashion only.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I
In
agree.
this context, my question is that Devas or all these people are required when there is no Dharma and to do the needful. Just like we need a policeman when there is a robbery. Otherwise, we don't require a policeman. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Policeman is required only when there is a robbery. No? Here also, why they was very frequently not coming, even though Adharma is there. No? Adharma actually, Adharma, it goes to the ascendance. When it goes to the ascendance, the Bhagavan is getting born, we may not be recognizing him that he is a what is called Bhagavan. Even when Krishna was there in Dwapara Yuga also, even that time also, Duryodhana could not realize that he was a god. Otherwise, he is such a foolish person that when God is sitting on the opposite side, can any person wage a war? He can't wage a war because he is waging a war against a god also. But because he could not know, even the every day he is seeing Krishna, he could not realize that he was a god. Only few persons only, Bhishma, Drona, or a few persons only could realize that he was a god. Rest of the persons could not realize he was ordinary person only. So here also same thing, sir. Because maybe in our presence also there may be some god. We don't know. Because sometimes we call him as it is actually a fake god, something of that nature. We may ignore him, something of that nature. Avadhutas are there, many Avadhutas we come across in and around. People
Right.
still feel that some Avadhutas, maybe he is really a god, we don't know. But thing is that we just neglect him because thinking that he is a fake god. Because so many fake gods are in and fake gods are there in and around for us. A real god also we feel that he is a fake god and sometimes ignore. Maybe some people could realize that he is a real god and follow him. That is the problem is that identification. That is also because maybe the samskara should be there for us. Otherwise, the samskara is not there. We may not be understanding the real what is called worth of the person. So you come across Puttaparthi Sai Baba is there. Some people feel he is God. Some people no, he is not a God. He is a fake God. Similarly, Siddhi Sai is there. Some people say he is like that. Some people say that he is a Muslim person. No, like that. You have to do it. Maybe Avaduta or may not be Avadhuta. The only thing is that what he has done to the society and what is just miracles, I don't think is the only thing by means of which you can say that he is a god. Because miracles, people tell that Ashta Siddhis are there. Out of Ashta Siddhis, 3 Siddhis, if you attain, that is fine. You can do all these miracles. People tell. They're not necessarily all the Ashta Siddhis. Really, person who got all the Ashta Siddhis, Anima, Manima, Garima, all these things, the person who attained all these Ashtasiddhis, he will not indulge in again in what is called mundane things. He will just sit aloof, meditate, people tell. But there are people around us, there are some people who do some miracles. The miracle itself is not the what is called essence to prove that he is a god. We argue because we are having a lot of rational thinking. We are having that is also maybe sometimes problem or may not be a problem. We don't know. Too much of
Right.
rationality, too much like Indian democracy, too much of freedom is there because of this reason democracy. Whether democracy or not, we don't know. So too much of freedom. Similarly, too much of rational knowledge also sometimes a danger for understanding spirituality.
Right.
Spirituality is also sometimes it is bhakti is also should be there. Sometimes belief should be there, trust should be there. Then all these things are there. Sometimes people can see God even now also. But if those
Okay.
things are absent, we may not be in a position to see God.
Yeah. The other question is, what is the timelines for Manvantaras?
Manvantaras, I will be discussing. I will be discussing in one exact class itself, sir.
Okay. Then.
What is
The other
Manvantara? What
question
is Kalpa and all these things.
right. The other question is, did Krishna took avatara
Ah.
to preach Bhagavad Gita or for something else? Why in that time period?
So this is Mahabharata war. Why it took place and all these things. Mahabharata Adi Parva only it is mentioned. Very briefly, I will be telling because time is very restricted here. Very briefly, Mahabharata. I don't remember the chapter name, but if I take out it can be easily traced. Thing is that here there is a scheme of things is there. On one occasion, it is told that even this story we find across in Markandeya Purana also we come across. Mahabharata also we come across this story. And there is one occasion gods were performing a great yajna. Because for gods, as you know, for us one day, for us 1,000 days maybe one day for them like something of that. 365 days for a human being is one day for gods, something of that nature. Similarly, the yajna was for months together, years together it went on according and years together it went on according to Deva's calendar. So you can imagine how many number of years. So what happened is that even Yama was also sitting there. Yeah, the Indra was sitting there, Varuna is sitting there, Agni was sitting like that. All the gods were sitting and doing this yajna. At that time there were no deaths in the earth. People were living the thousands of years they were living. There was no death. They were also like gods only. On one occasion, Narada comes to Earth and he finds that all the persons are living. Then he goes back just like that. He wanted to tell Indra, this is what happened. Indra also saw what is the difference between us and human beings. He went and told Brahma. Then Brahma told, no, don't worry, because thing is here. This is actually because Yajna is going on, Yama is sitting here. That is why no death is happening. But it will be cleared by Rudra. We will approach Rudra. They went to Rudra. When they went to Rudra, he fixed 18 days. I have fixed already fixed in my scheme of things. It is there. In 18 days, the entire earth will be so much of all these people will be removed out, and then it will be there. And I have for this you need to help me like that. I will be ordering you to take birth in the Bhumi. Amshavatarana, it is there in Mahabharata. One Parvam, Amshavatarana, because people believe that 100 Parvas are there in Mahabharata again. One of the Parvas is Amshavatarana Parvam. In Amshavatarana Parvam, this story we come across. He orders everybody. Indra, you take birth. Varuna, you take birth. Like that, he gives orders for all the gods. When they take all the gods, and then he also requests Krishna, Mahavishnu, that you should help me in this entire process. Krishna agreed for that, and he come to earth in order just because when there is a lot of this is that has to be reduced. For this purpose, he also wants to come. All the Rakshasas are also born here because the Bhubhara has to be reduced. That is why the Pranalika is there. That it is a plan scheme. That is why only we come across why this the what is called the person who gave boon to Kunti, no? What is his name? Da. It starts with the Da. The person who
Durvasa.
Durvasa Maharshi. Durvasa Maharshi is known for his anger, to be frank. A very angry person. And he never we come across in any story in Mahabharata, he has given any boon to any person. That person came to Kunti, even if she is not asking, also he gave her a boon that you will be having she is a Kanya at the time, and he is giving a strange boon that whichever God you pray, that God will appear before you and he give you a child like that. And why this is happening? It is happening because it is actually Rudra is coming. Rudra's avataras is Durvasa. Durvasa has come and given this boon to this person. So the scheme of things, people tell that, particularly some scholars, particularly Malladi Chandrasekhar Shastri, if you follow, he tells that entire Mahabharata scheme of things is planned by Rudra, and it is perfected and planned. What is it? It is done by Sri Krishna in Avatara, because it is a scheme of things is done by Rudra, and it is done by actually it is practically it was implemented by Sri Krishna like that. Sri Krishna took birth just because in order to reduce the Bhubhara one thing, and he has to establish Dharma in that period. So because it is actually starting phase of Kali Yuga, almost Kali Yuga is getting started. Then he has to set an example for the people that this is how people have behaved because this reason this destruction happened. At least people in future generations of the people read it, at least understand it, and then at least don't follow this type of things. This is maybe the message. Like that. Krishna's birth is actually it is Mahabharata. It is planned only. It is written down. But anyway, Krishna has born because at the time Purnavatara, he wanted to do all these activities, and that is why in Mahabharata, entire Mahabharata work we come across only Arjuna was only aiming the arrows, and Krishna already killed all those persons. Bhima, Bhishmancha, Dronancha, Jayadrathancha, like that one shloka goes, because all these persons are already killed by me. You just aim an arrow and get a fame. Like that he will be telling. This is how the story goes.
Okay, sir.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Yes,
I
sir.
think there is one more question, but then we'll take it up tomorrow.
Fine, sir.
That's the end of the questions on the chat box.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So, sir, shall we do Prarthana and close? Can we? Yeah. Okay, now we'll request Satyaji to do Prarthana.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधना सधना सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। स्वस्ति।
ధన్యవాదములండి సత్య గారు. Now let us recite national anthem. Challa Chittibabu garu.
Yes, sir. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद
Jai.
जय हिंद जय हिंद।
Thank you, Challa Chittibabu garu.
Thank you.
Now I will stop recording.